Players didn't think a recent meeting produced enough progress with a late October deadline looming. Made a statement over the weekend in Indianapolis wearing these shirts. They read, "Pay us what you owe us."
Other players in this league, and I'm sure a lot more would have loved to be there if they were in Indianapolis, and I think that's the most powerful thing.
Picture this. You work for a company that hasn't turned a profit in 28 years. Just lost $40 million in what it calls its best year ever. And you show up wearing a shirt demanding more pay. Sounds wild, right? Well, that's exactly what went down at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game and the internet. It exploded. But before you take sides, there's a twist you need to know, and it's got everything to do with Caitlin Clark, the league's only bankable superstar. This story isn't just about money or entitlement. It's about how the WNBA is on the verge of fumbling the biggest opportunity in women's sports history. The league finally has a breakout icon in Caitlin. Yet instead of capitalizing on her stardom, the focus is still stuck on pay complaints in a league that's bleeding cash, struggling with ratings, and barely keeping the lights on. Before Caitlin showed up, the biggest WNBA headline was about how underpaid players felt and how unwatchable the product was. Just listen to this clip from Kelsey Plum, one of the league's top players, venting about salaries 2 years ago. The frustration was real. But instead of building something sustainable, the WNBA seems more interested in demanding respect it hasn't earned, rather than delivering a product that earns it.
In the NBA, they have percentages of revenue shared for the players. You know, if the owners are making certain types of money, they get that as well.
Got it.
In the WNBA, that's not the case. We are not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm
Got
saying?
it, got it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge
Got
misconception.
it, okay,
For sure.
good.
And it's wild when you realize the WNBA has always been bankrolled by the NBA. Yet its biggest problem remains the same. The product just isn't entertaining. That sparked some bold suggestions, including the time Shaq proposed a controversial fix to one of the league's top stars.
Think if we just lower the rim so y'all can dunk like we dunk, that'll give y'all more oomph than you already have?
No.
I don't see a lot of people going up with two hands and, back.
Oh, it's coming. Our next child will be drop step dunking, I promise. I'm still there.
And it wasn't just Shaq pushing the idea. Tracy McGrady also backed lowering the rim as a way to boost excitement and make the game more appealing.
I've been playing basketball on a 10-foot hoop my whole life, so to move it to 9.5, it's gonna take a long time to get used to that. And then also, we're only playing basketball to dunk? I'm not sure.
No, you playing to...
you just want to see me dunk on somebody? I don't know.
Eventually, the WNBA got their golden child, Caitlin Clark, and she boosted ratings in ways no one saw coming. But how did the league respond to their rising star? Let's just say it was unexpected. On July 19, 2025, something unprecedented went down at the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis. Every single player, and I mean every single one, showed up to warm-ups, wearing matching black shirts that read in bold white letters, "Pay us what you owe us." This wasn't a last-minute move. It was a calculated protest, sparked by what players called a missed opportunity in the recent CBA negotiations. Just 2 days prior, the moment hit its peak during the MVP ceremony, when the 16,000 fans in attendance erupted into a thunderous chant, "Pay them, pay them." It was so powerful, players described getting literal chills. Even Nafisa Collier, the night's MVP and Union VP, stepped up to explain their stance.
We get a very tiny percentage of all the money that's made through the WNBA, which obviously is through our entertainment, the entertainment we provide, and so we want a fair and reasonable percentage of that.
And here's where things get really interesting, and why I said the WNBA shows zero business sense. Before we dive deeper, let's talk numbers, because social media roasted the players over them, and honestly, it's hard to argue with. The Math.1 viral tweet broke it down perfectly. If the WNBA is losing $50 million this year, and there are 153 players, That's roughly $326,797 lost per player. Pay us what you owe us. The internet clapped back. You owe the league money. Another user joked, imagine showing up to work at a company that's never made a profit, wearing a protest shirt demanding more pay. And sadly, it's not even a joke. The WNBA just wrapped what they called their most successful season ever: record attendance, record viewership, record merchandise sales, and still lost $40 million. Let that sink in. Here's the breakdown. In 2025, the WNBA brought in $200 million in revenue, up from $102 million in 2019. Great, right? Nope, because they spent $240 million to make it happen. That's a $40 million loss, even in a historic season. One huge mistake. Chartered flights. Critics warned it was unsustainable, and now those expenses are dragging the league down. Oh, and by the way, the WNBA has been around 28 years and has never turned a profit. Total losses, over $280 million. The only reason it survives: the NBA's $15 million annual support and a 42% ownership stake. And to be fair, before 2024, the WNBA wasn't even popular enough to demand raises. Just listen to what Shane Gillis joked at the ESPYs.
WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players.
The crowd actually fell for the joke, and that just proves how disconnected the WNBA is from mainstream fans. No one recognized the players. But let's shift to what Dave Portnoy said, and keep in mind, he's no WNBA fanboy. Still, even he made a crucial point. The WNBA's financials are a disaster, intentionally murky and entangled with the NBA. Why? Because if owners were honest about how bad things really are, they'd be on the hook for more money when the next bargaining agreement rolls around. Currently, WNBA players get 9.3% of league revenue, about $20 million total, split among everyone. By contrast, NBA players receive 50% of their league's revenue. So now WNBA players want NBA-level revenue sharing. It's from a league that only exists because the NBA is covering the bills. Fans aren't buying it. Many believe the WNBA is just a tax write-off for the NBA, not a viable business. And even if the players do have a case for more revenue, here's where they completely destroy their own argument in how they treated the one player actually bringing in that revenue: Caitlin Clark. Clark didn't just boost the WNBA in 2024, she rescued it. Her impact is staggering. Indiana Fever games with Caitlin averaged 1.8 million viewers. All other WNBA games, just 394,000. 19 Fever games broke 1 million viewers. Only 3 non-Clark games hit that all season. Fever attendance: 643,343, a 182% spike. The first team ever to cross 300,000 home fans. Her jersey ranked number 2 in all of basketball, behind only Steph Curry, even beating LeBron James. The league put 36 of 40 Fever games on national TV, more than actual championship teams. So you'd think they'd treat her like gold, right? Wrong. What Caitlin Clark faced in 2024 was a masterclass in what not to do in business. Players targeted her, disrespected her, and one moment exposed it all. On June 1st, Kennedy Carter hip-checked her off-ball for no reason, allegedly calling her an exploitive B*TCH. The ref called it a common foul. Only after backlash did it get upgraded to a flagrant KWA, and Carter's response afterward made it even worse.
What you say to her? I didn't say anything. That's enough. We're good. She's good.
Angel Reese was seen celebrating from the bench when Clark got knocked down, and that was just the start. Marina Mabrey later shoved her to the floor while Jonquel Jones poked her in the eye during the playoffs. Through it all, Clark led rookies in fouls drawn and stayed classy.
Probably other people don't get away with, and it's tough, but that's just the fact of the matter. Is like, this is a very physical game. You're gonna get pressure. That's just professional basketball. So.
The racial dynamics quickly became impossible to ignore. A'ja Wilson openly stated that Caitlin Clark's popularity was simply a matter of black and white. Then, things escalated further when Pat McAfee stirred. Major backlash with
this
a
rookie
controversial
class, this
comment
rookie
about
class,
Clark
this rookie
that set
class.
social
Nah, just call
media
it for
on
what it
fire.
is. There's one white for the Indiana team who is a superstar.
Here's where the WNBA story really takes a wild turn. Caitlin Clark didn't just bring attention to the league. She transformed it. She tripled viewership, smashed attendance records, and became a merchandise sales juggernaut. And yet, the response from the league and players: treat her like a punching bag and shame her for the very success that saved them. Clark addressed the elephant in the room, race and privilege, head-on in her Time magazine interview. She openly acknowledged, as a white person, there is privilege. This league has been built on black players. She even condemned fans using her name to promote racist agendas, saying, "It's disappointing and it's not acceptable." Still, Clark became the target of cheap shots and ridicule. Angel Reese was caught celebrating from the bench when Clark was knocked down. Marina Mabrey shoved her to the floor in another game. In the playoffs, Jonquel Jones poked her in the eye. Despite all that, Clark led rookies in fouls drawn and responded with nothing but class. And then came the salary disparity. Clark, the #1 pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, who basically carried the season, made just $76,535 in her rookie year. Her 4-year deal, worth $338,000 total. Now compare that to Victor Wembanyama. It's the #1 pick in the same draft for the NBA. He earned $12.1 million. In his first year with a 4-year deal worth $55.2 million. That's 163x more than Clark. The WNBA's salary structure is absurd. Rookies earn a minimum of $66,000. The average salary is $122,000, and the Supermax is just $249,000. Entire team salary caps are around $1.46 million, less than what many NBA benchwarmers make. Because of that, nearly half of all WNBA players go overseas in the offseason. Diana Taurasi made $1 million in Russia, while Brittany Griner earned $600,000 in China for short stints, far more than their WNBA checks. Now, are the players right to want better pay? Absolutely. But here's the problem: their business strategy makes no sense. The current collective bargaining agreement (CBA) expires on October 31st, 2025, and players opted out in 2024, right after the finals. They're pushing for what they call transformational change: salary caps of $45 million per team, and individual salaries up to $1 million. That's triple or quadruple current numbers. To be fair, for the first time in 28 years, the players actually have leverage. Ratings are up, attendance is booming, jersey sales are at an all-time high. But instead of building on that momentum, they're fighting over crumbs. Clark was the main reason for that surge. Not the veterans, not the longtime stars. Yet, the league let her get bullied, snubbed her from the Olympics, and let the narrative spiral into race over basketball. As Charles Barkley put it perfectly,
ladies,
instead of growing the pie, they're just fighting over the slices.
This Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. There's been so much negativity, and a lot of it is just petty jealousness.
You'd think that WNBA would be riding high right now, right? A new generation of stars, massive fan interest, record-breaking numbers. But instead of celebrating the progress, we're stuck watching the league shoot itself in the foot again. Let's be real. There's a simple solution that no one's talking about. What if the WNBA just paid players enough to stay in the US? They don't need NBA salaries. They just need enough to stop chasing paychecks overseas. That's a win-win. More time to grow the game locally, more fan connection, more consistent. Branding, everyone benefits. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Caitlin Clark. She basically rescued the 2024 season. And yet, she earned just $100,000 from basketball. Her total income, $1.1 million, thanks to a $28 million Nike deal, a signature ball with Wilson, and major endorsements. That's the modern blueprint right there. Build stars, build brands. Attract dollars. But what did the league do with its biggest star? They let her get pushed around, isolated, and undercut on and off the court. And that's wild because she brought in millions of new fans, sold more tickets, and gave the WNBA a moment in the spotlight it's never had before. Now, here's the plot twist, ... In 2026, the WNBA's media rights deal explodes, going from $60 million to $200 million annually. New deals with Disney, NBC, and Amazon could push that number even higher. This could flip the league from losing money every year to actually turning a profit for the first time ever. Suddenly, Tases, asking for better pay doesn't sound so crazy. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. If no deal is reached, by October 31st, 2025, the league could face its first ever lockout. Expansion plans in Toronto and Portland paused. 80% of players are free agents with nowhere to go. And a new league called Unrivaled is offering players $220,000 for just 10 weeks of action. That's real competition now, so here's the big picture. The WNBA is standing at a crossroads. They've got momentum. They've got the public watching. They have a rising star. And for once, they've got the chance to make money. But instead of building the brand, they're fighting over a pot that doesn't even exist yet. Instead of elevating the player that saved their season, they let petty drama and bad business take over. Let's be honest, if the NBA had treated Magic, Bird, or Jordan like that, the league wouldn't be what it is today. They protected their stars, they built around them, and then they cashed in. The WNBA could have done the same, but instead, they're risking everything just as they're about to blow up. Now don't get me wrong, players deserve better pay. The current salary cap is embarrassing, but asking for NBA-level money from a league that's never been profitable while disrespecting your biggest draw. That's not strategy, that's self-sabotage. The WNBA needs to wake up. Protect your stars. Grow your audience, secure the bag together, then fight over profits once they exist. Outro: strong, engaging tone. So what do you think? Should WNBA players be getting paid more? Or are they missing the bigger picture? Let's talk in the comments. This is Erra IQ Zone, where we break it down without filters. Catch you in the next one.